So please put a box or a container or a cooler, something out there that we can put the meals in, so that once we drop them off, you all can come out, pick them up, and take them back in the house.
Yeah, because if I left mine sitting outside, Nate, my dogs would have a great meal.
Yes, they would, and that's what we don't want. We want these meals to go to our kids. We love our pets, but we want the meals to go to our kids. So if everybody can please help us with that.
And really and truly, if it's raining, I mean, it would need to be something, maybe a tub that had a lid on it, because if it's raining, you don't want everything to get rained on either.
Exactly right. So please help us, folks. We need your help. If you have questions about that, you can go to our website, or you can go to WPKY. I think it may be listed on your all's website, and see it. So if you have questions, you can call up here to 365-8000 and ask to talk to Mr. Brown, or leave a message for him. If somebody doesn't answer, you can leave a message and it'll go to our mailbox, so we can answer those questions for you. But there's a lot of effort going in to get these meals prepared every day and to bring them out to you.
I'll tell you what, Mr. Brown is turned into Superman on those phone calls.
I'll tell you what, I'm going to make him the one-call guru, I believe. I mean, he's got a voice for radio, I can tell you.
He's entertaining, too.
He is entertaining, and he does a phenomenal job. He and Mr. Bruce McAllister and all the folks, the transportation folks, getting together every day to deliver these meals is just phenomenal. I'd like to go over a couple things that are coming up. We got a board meeting coming up next Monday night, and it's going to be kind of a virtual board meeting with the public. We're not going to let anybody in the auditorium, but we're going to live stream it on WPKY.
I'm so looking forward to that. I think that's such a great thing that we were able to announce that this morning, and that's a collaboration made in heaven, I think. I love that.
I guarantee it is. And what's going to happen is, if you have a question, once we get to the public comments, if you'd like to make a comment, I'd like for you to send me an email at nate.huggins@caldwell.kyschools.us, and I'll put your name on the list to make comments, and that's towards the end of the board meeting. And there's going to be a phone number. You dial 270-365-8002, and we'll be able to pick that call up, and we'll put you on speakerphone, and you can address the board with your question or your concern. We want the public's information, and we want their input, but we feel that's the safest way to get that at this point, based on the COVID-19 situation.
Well, and everybody says, now I'm not going to be able to go to the meetings, and I've got things I want to say, and I've got things I want to do, and well, now here's your chance. That's what I love about that, is that it's open, and this is our school in Caldwell County, and we're all going to attend this meeting together.
Yeah, the only people that are going to be in the meeting are myself, the board members, and the WPKY folks with the technology that we need. The board secretary, the board treasurer, and our legal counsel, Mr. Wells. And then everybody else can call in if they have a question. And if we have a question of a certain director, I'll call the director, and we'll just put them on speakerphone at the time. So that's kind of the way we're going to do it. We're going to do it to try to practice safe distancing, and we can all spread out in there as a board, a member of about 9 people. There's plenty of room to spread out in the auditorium. So that's what we're going to do this time.
Well, and you know what? That's transparency. That is trying to work with our parents. That's trying to keep everyone involved. And to be honest, it wouldn't be a bad idea if our kids were to listen to it as well.
Oh, I'd love for them to listen to it. And, of course, you'll have it on your platform, so if they want to go back and listen to it, I don't know how long you all keep it on the line for people to go back and listen to, but it would be a chance for them to go back and listen to a board meeting.
Oh, it's forever and ever, Nate Huggins. You'd be surprised at how often you're on YouTube.
Oh, my. That's scary.
It's me and you, kid.
Well, I'm telling you what. I put out a letter to our families last Monday, put it on the website during spring break, and I mentioned a few things I wanted the families to consider. First and foremost, we need to take this time to make our family ties stronger. We really do. I mean, you're spending time together, and that's something that you're not used to, especially during the course of the day with parents and the kids being home. So they need to find ways to kind of make sure everybody's safe and sound and doing the right things. And I gave about 4 or 5 different things that they need to do for stuff at the house, and one is the social time. Kids that will be likely to miss the school aspects of school time with their kids, their friends, they need to go through FaceTime, use social media in a positive way, phone calls, even handwritten letters. We don't do handwritten letters very much anymore. It's all texting or Xbox or whatever their platform they're using. But if they could just do that to keep communication with their friends, or maybe sometime during the day, if you can go out to a friend's house and they're not home, go back and put a chalk message on their driveway.
Oh, isn't that cute? I saw that the other day.
Yeah, tell them how much you miss them. Or, take 15 minutes reading for pleasure with your kids. The survey, or the studies that educators use is that if you average about 20 minutes a day reading, you'll put yourself in the top 3% of testing just for 20 minutes of reading each day. So if you can take 20 minutes out of your schedule each day and read with your child, that will increase their ability to do well on exams and tests throughout their life. Of course, also spend quality time with your family. When you have a meal, I really like the Blue Blood series on TV. And when they get together for a Sunday meal, when they get around the table, that just brings back some of the old times when we grew up, where we had a Sunday meal with the family, and everybody was around there, and nobody started until the blessing was given, and you had great discussions at the table on Sunday. Of course, there's personal interest projects that kids can do. If they have a hobby or something they like to do, or finding out what's going on with the market, or maybe doing a research project on polar bears, help around the house.
I'm all for that. You can repeat that one over and over again.
Yeah, help around the house, clean your room, do your chores. Daily exercise, get up and do some exercise, either walk in place or walk around the neighborhood, keeping your 6-foot distance away from others. Making sure we get sufficient sleep. We need to make sure we get at least 7 to 8 hours a night sleeping. Probably, I think 9 hours is the recommended time for all the doctors that tell you that this is the best time to sleep. And then last but not least, balance your screen time. You don't need to be on that iPad or that telephone or the Xbox 12 hours a day. That's too much time, too many hours on the screen for you to keep your eyes in check. So those are just a few things I wanted to reiterate. It's on the internet if you want to go back and look at it. And I'm going to put out another letter at the end of the week with some more information for the end of school situation that we're looking at. And I'd like to say graduation is going to be on the agenda next Monday on what we're going to do with that because it could be a virtual graduation. Do we have it on the 22nd of May? It's scheduled on our calendar. Also, prom is kind of put on hold right now because of CDC social distancing requirements. So we're waiting on CDC to tell us, or the governor to tell us, what we can and cannot do for social distancing, and we're going to follow that. We're not going to put ourselves or our community in jeopardy by saying, okay, it's all over, we can get back together now. We're not going to do that. So prom may be a situation where prom, it may not occur, I don't know. But we're going to follow CDC guidelines and go from there. But it's kind of really maybe too early to tell you. So folks that are calling, asking about graduation and prom, the prom's put on hold. We're going to graduate. We don't know if it's going to be the 22nd of May through a virtual means. I think what I have on the agenda is to approve a virtual graduation as a secondary option, unless the CDC gives us the ability to get together and to have that type of activity. But looking at the way that this virus is going across our land and across our nation, that's not going to happen based on what I'm seeing. But I'm not the person that makes that decision. I'm waiting for the guidance from the governor. So that's kind of where we are right now for graduation and prom. Progress reports are going out tomorrow. We have non-traditional instruction, but progress reports are going out. The expectation for all students of Caldwell County is that they complete their NTI assignments. If you have any questions about your assignment or don't understand something, I need the parents to get in touch with the teachers or get in touch with the building administrator, the principal, and ask the question to get answered. If you have any other situations that you can't get an answer to, please call 270-365-8000. Leave a message for me, and I'll be more than glad to get back to you or have somebody get back to you. But we will get an answer for your child's situation with their studies. But it's expected for every student of our school district to do the non-traditional instruction studies. We have to get the feedback from that you're doing those studies and completing it the best that you possibly can. We know it's not going to be like it would be in the classroom, but the effort needs to be there. But if you have any questions, please call your building administrator. Other than that, Tess, I'm thoroughly excited about having another great day in Caldwell County as the superintendent of this fine school district. And our board is committed to doing whatever we need to do to take care of our kids.
Boy, you won the lottery when you got Caldwell County, didn't you?
I did. I guarantee the Lord was looking out after me.
I'm a little partial. I graduated and my kids are still here, so...
Well, there you go. You have beautiful children, Tess. You really do.
Well, you don't know them very well, Nate.
I know them when I see them at school. They're always very friendly and nice to me.
Now, friendly they are. That's what God bless them. I pick on them a lot, but I love them. And I'll tell you, we do, it's easy for our kids and our parents to get disconnected right now because it is so kind of out of whack. And then we had spring break, and now we're trying to get back into the groove of it. And I know when we talk about graduation, and I know that when we talk about prom, it's painful for the kids and it's painful for some of the parents. But you know what? I know that the teachers and our superintendent, Mr. Nate Huggins, it's painful for them too. And
this is a time we need to have a closure for these kids. I mean, it's a main time in their life, and we need to have a graduation ceremony of some faction. They have their gowns are already, caps and gowns are already in. Miss Phelps and her crew are making arrangements to get those delivered to the house, or have somebody come up and pick them up. But they've got a situation putting together right now to take home the caps and gowns to each and every graduating senior. It is important for the seniors to know that they have to complete their studies. Nothing's going to be given to them. As well as the freshmen through juniors. They have to complete their studies in order to get the credits in their classes. So don't think that you got a get out of jail card, get out of jail free card because we're not playing Monopoly. You've got to do your work because life has an expectation that you have to do your job when you get out of school, and that's the correlation. You're given an assignment. You're expected to do it the best that you can, and that's what we're expected out of you. As well as the other kids, K through 8. You're expected to do the lessons that they're giving you, and that's what the expectation is. And if you have problems, we'll help you. But we need to have closure for our seniors. We really do. And I'm hoping and praying that this virus, we flatline this virus in Caldwell County, and we get guidance from our local health department that says you're cleared to have a graduation ceremony with your kids, but they may limit the number of people that we can have in there so we can spread out, but something's better than nothing.
We're going to figure it out together, aren't we, Nate?
We are going to figure it out together, and if we have to do virtual, we're going to do the best virtual graduation that anybody's ever seen.
Hey, we had you virtual last year right there on a live feed, and I'm quite sure that we will be a part of it again. One way or the other.
You will. WPKY is going to be a part of our graduation as long as I'm here, because I thought that was an excellent touch for our community to be able to watch it from home, especially for some of the grandparents that just could not get out because of health or whatever reason.
Well, I ended up being sick a week before, and I thought, my goodness, what if I didn't even have a senior, but I thought, well, I wonder, those poor people that are sick and can't go. I mean, of course, I was well, and I was able to go by the time it was there, but it worried me. I thought I was going to have to watch it on, Facebook or on PKY Online. I wanted to be there, but you can't necessarily all the time. So I think that was wonderful.
Well, I just can't thank the board enough for their direction during this crisis time. I'm getting a lot of great direction from our board members. I appreciate Kim Jackson with what she's doing in our health department, and also as a board member and what she's given to our board over the last 12 years. she's done a phenomenal job for us and for our kids. I would like to thank Mr. Riley, Brother Riley, again for him and the Baptist Disaster Relief folks that came back last week to help us. Anytime we can take care of our kids with meals and give them some nourishment, that is a great activity in my book. And again, last but not least, progress reports will go out tomorrow, high school students. So parents, please look in your mailbox for a progress report. If it's not there, please call the school. We would be glad to give it to you verbally. Or I think you may be able to get to access it maybe on Infinite Campus. See how things are going with your students' grades from the high school. Tess, do you have anything else that I can possibly add?
I think that is it. You've done an excellent job, as always. Of course, Superintendent Nate Huggins, we sure do appreciate you.
Well, one last thing. I forgot. If you missed your one-call message, they said one call now has called you, all you have to do is hit that recall. You can recall and listen to the last message that was sent to your phone. So if you missed the message from the school, from Caldwell County Schools, I think you can hit that number again, and it'll dial you back into the one-call message platform.
Oh, wow, because that's happened to me before.
So just call that number back, and if do you have a second, I can maybe call that back in. And
well, sure.
Let's see if I can figure that out here real quick.
I love that. I love that he's willing to do it live on the air.
I'll play that. I'll see if I can play that for everybody to listen to. We can listen to Mr. Will Brown again.
I want to tell you, he missed his calling.
I guarantee he did. Just take a second to go through this.
Welcome to One Call Now. To listen to your group's latest message, press 1.
How about that?
No messages have been sent to your phone number.
Well,
if you would like
it's not going to go. It's not going to go to this phone because it comes to this phone and I'm on it talking to you. But if you call that number and just press 1, the number that you had on the phone, you should be able to listen to that message again.
Well, how cool is that? Technology's cool, Nate.
I like it.
And thank you to.
You should have. If you don't have a recording, I think you can call that back. But if not, we'll find a way to do that.
We'll figure it out one way or the other. Nate Huggins, Superintendent for Caldwell County Schools. We sure do appreciate you and all you do, and Will Brown and the teachers and the bus drivers and everybody else who's helping out.
I tell you, I have a phenomenal crew here in Caldwell County School District. They do an outstanding job. And again, my hat's off to everyone, especially our kitchen staff that are coming in and the folks that are delivering the meals every day. Again, make sure you have a box outside. If we deliver it to your house, we're not coming to the front door. We want to put it out by your mailbox. Have a container out there, preferably something that you can put a lid on, but it can't stay out there very long because with the hottest it's going to get, your food may spoil. So you need to get it, make sure you're there to pick it up as soon as we drop it off.
All right. Well, thank you, sir. We appreciate you. Have a good one.
Thanks, Tess. Stay safe, and may God bless you.
You do the same thing. Thanks so much. Of course, Superintendent Nate Huggins, we love him to death for Caldwell County School Systems. And you know what? We're going to be back in just a second with Josh Cook. He's going to help us out with the yard. I need some help on my yard. Now, if he'd just come mow my yard, we'd be better off. But we're going to talk to him next on PKY.
Catawba announces Jita Shabda, their new medical director, and that they now have on-site physician services specializing in internal medicine and pulmonary, Monday through Friday during regular business hours. Christian Care Center of Catawba is Joint Commission certification with 57 private rooms, all covered by private pay, insurance, Medicare, or Medicaid. They also have a designated area for smokers. It's the next best thing to home. Call Christian Care Center of Catawba, nurturing body, mind, and spirit.
Kentucky barbecue. There's nothing like it. You'll be glad to know that Noth's Barbecue in Grand Rivers is open for carryout. It's been a long time since you've been able to get that pulled pork from tender whole shoulders, cooked for 12 hours straight, the old-time traditional way. So you better call ahead, reserve your order, and drive on over to Noth's. When you get there, one of the servers will come out and greet you. Noth's Barbecue, where they've been pigging out for over 50 years.
Here's your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast for today. Chance of sprinkles this morning, high 49, clouds this afternoon, frost overnight. If you've got young, tender plants out there, cover them up. Tomorrow, sunshine, high 58. On Thursday, sunny, high 63. It is 40 at 8:56, 1580, 103.3, WPKY Princeton.
Your WPKY Weather Edge Weather Center forecast is brought to you by Kay's Kitchen.
And we got Josh Cook on the line. How are you?
Good morning.
Of course, it's
I'm good. How are
coffee
you?
talk this morning. I will tell you, Nate Huggins is the bravest man I've ever heard in my whole life. He did his answer machine right there on the air.
Yes, he is.
I'm going to tell you what, I wouldn't have done it because I know how it would happen if it was at my house. And his house is a whole lot bigger than my house.
Exactly.
I love him, but I love him that he did that. I will say it because that's transparency. And that
Very much.
I love that because that's what a lot of people all over this country fuss about every day is transparency when it comes to our schools. And you used to work at Caldwell County Schools, and you understand that, how much that transparency really means.
Yes, it means the world to, especially the teachers, and I know to the parents and kids alike. Just being transparent with them and open with them means the world.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm transparent with mine about the fact that my yard needs mowed every day. And it does no good. I don't know if people realize, but I mean, don't get me wrong, he needs a Superman cape because he is the man of a million jobs. I don't know how his wife ever sees him. Josh Cook is also a ridiculously good landscaper, by the way, and you do a really great job.
Well, thank you. I've always strived. I started, I think around 19 years ago, just helping out an elderly neighbor. And that's kind of taken me to where I am now.
I just want to kind of give everybody a heads up if you are downtown in Princeton right now, maybe over toward the bowling alley area, right there over by the interstate. We do have a low-flying helicopter and some situations here. So try to avoid that area if you can. Right now looks like traffic concerns in Princeton, so just a heads up. But anyway, back to Josh Cook.
You're good. Hey, that's important.
Well, when you see a low-flying helicopter, I mean, I know they accuse me of chasing squirrels a lot, but that was a whopper.
Yeah, that kind of takes your attention real quick.
Well, I mean, really and truly, what do you have to do in the spring? Because there's the weeds that you've got to get rid of because if you don't, they're going to take over. And then there are those weeds that are just obnoxious in the spring, but they go away. I mean, how do you know the difference?
Well, a lot of it is just normal routine stuff that you can do that you don't really think about. And of course, for all these years, I've always just kind of done maintenance stuff as far as keeping lawns mowed, bush trimming, mulching, re-landscaping jobs, that type of stuff. But, a lot of people like mowing their grass really low. And you think, man, it looks so good mowing it down to the dirt and everything. In reality, if you mow it high, that gives your actual grass, your fescue, more of a chance to kill out those weeds. And so I try to mow all of my yards at least 3 to 4 inches on my mower deck just to help that fescue and the good grass come and overtake all the weeds.
Okay. And, there's something to be said for, and I'll tell you now, this I didn't know either. When you talk about leaving your grass a little bit, when we're doing hay and that sort of thing out in the fields, I get it. But suddenly in my yard, I don't think about it the same way. I don't know why, but my brain just doesn't quite make that switch. And, when you go and buy tick stuff, did you know that fertilizes your yard? I didn't know that.
Everything fertilizes it.
Well, I didn't mean to, and you should see my yard now. I mean, but it's things you've got to think about.
You do. I know on our yard, at home, of course, I may be a little bit more particular, but I'm having to mow it about every 3 days right now because of the fescue, and it's loving this time of year, and it's growing like crazy.
You need to buy a goat.
Exactly. I'm thinking about getting a goat. I don't think my neighbors would like that too well.
Troy Vinson's got some, and David Rogers just bought some. You might borrow one of theirs if you got to do it every 3 days. But when you think about it, little things like that can make a huge difference. I mean, how do we know that when we go pick up a tick repellent that it's going to fertilize our yard? It doesn't say that on the front of the thing. It just says it gets rid of ticks. So how do we know those kinds of things, Josh?
Well, I would say just really reading up on what's in the package that you're buying, consulting. I know I call Adam a lot with Go Green and say, hey, what does this mean? Or can you help me out here? And he takes care of fertilizing my lawn for me. That's where I get a lot of my mulch from Adam to do my jobs with and stuff. And so we have a really good working relationship to where if somebody calls me and I don't know what's going on or what to say, I've always got him on backup to help me out.
Well, no, I like that, though, because a lot of times if you have somebody like that you can work with, that you get along with, it just kind of makes things a little easier. And, partnerships in this area, again, that's supporting local.
Yes, and, that's my thing. I could easily go out of town and get things. But, whenever there's someone local, a small business that's local, I'm a small business, you got to help each other out. And I'm all about keeping things local. You've got to support your community.
I've heard that you're not supposed to weed eat right up against the tree. Is that true?
Yes. If you look at several people's yards, you'll see where next to the trees are kind of cut out, and that's where weed eater string has cut against the tree. So a lot of people put the black like gutter extender around a new baby tree. That also helps the water go straight down to the roots, but it also keeps you from cutting around the tree and cutting into the tree.
Oh, I didn't think about that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. So, little things like that, PVC pipe, I've seen that done a lot. Putting it on there but to where you can easily cut it off once the tree grows and gets bigger. And then just throw some mulch around it, Go see Adam and them and get you a little mulch. Call me and I'll bring some mulch over to you. And,
well, now, I've heard that not all mulch is equal either. What kind of mulch do you prefer? What's good for our gardens?
Well, you want as much natural that you can without. I don't like the real coarse stuff. I like the stuff that's going to eventually turn to dirt and dissolve and help to neutralize the ground. That helps your plants. Having mulch around your plants keeps them warm, especially like tonight with the freeze warning. That's going to help those plants to stay warm because that mulch traps heat in. I've got a load on the trailer right now, and, whenever he was loading it, you could just see the steam rolling off of it because it does trap in that heat.
Well, now, I've heard that some of it attracts termites. Is that true?
It does. You have to be careful on that. You have to kind of make sure that you've got a good relationship with your Termex man or your McGee's man to make sure that they keep a watch on that. And I never try to keep putting mulch on. It's good maybe every couple of years if you have any mulch that's still there, rake it out, haul it off, and just put some fresh down. And that kind of takes all that worry out of that.
All right, now I'm going to ask you what you put under it, too, because I will tell you, I've bought some of that stuff that you're supposed to lay down, and, within 30 days, I had a good strawberry plant, growing in my...
Your best bet is to actually go to a nursery and garden center and buy what I would call an industrial strength barrier. That's a little bit thicker and it's made to keep the weeds out for a long time. Now, I will tell you, with nature and things, birds carry seed. Animals carry seed. And a lot of times your weeds may not be coming from under the plastic or the barrier. It's actually coming from up top. From where some seeds may flow. Yeah. So, something as simple as that can happen, and, you may have some weeds now.
Oh, I got a bunch of them. We're going to talk about that when you come out and mow my yard.
Yeah, we'll take care of that for you.
Well, and, I don't want to spray all the chemicals and all of that stuff right up against my house either. But, I'm sure it would be fine, but there's a lot of that, when now we've got Roundup in the news and all of that stuff, I don't like spraying those chemicals right up against the house. And if I can put down some mulch and, a good weed barrier and that sort of thing. And I've also heard that there's some natural ways and made out of vinegar that you can do for to kill weeds.
Yeah, you can do the mixture, and I forget what all it is, but I was just reading on that the other day that you can do that.
Vinegar and Epsom salt, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, there you go. That is right. And then, you've also got, I've seen people lay old newspapers down instead of the plastic barrier, and that's supposedly supposed to keep weeds out for about a year.
Oh, wow. I didn't know about that.
Automatically dissolve as they, continue to get wet from rain and water. They'll dissolve into the earth. So you don't have a non-natural bearing anything right there. It's just all natural.
What do you put on top of seeds when you do, like if you've got bare spots, do you have any kind of what's your secret? Well, you may not want to tell that. If it's a secret, no. You may not want to tell that. But what do you lay on top of your seed to keep it in place? Because if not, it'll blow everywhere.
It will. A good straw is good. I saw, I think it was Roy Jean the other day, had a post selling straw, and that's a good barrier to put there. And I think a lot of times people don't understand that, if you've got a hard dirt place and it's dry and you throw seed down, how's that seed supposed to get in under the dirt? So, even taking
osmosis, Josh.
Exactly. So, just taking a hoe and maybe working that little spot up before you put some seed down and keeping it watered. And, it's just like anything else. If you go and plant grass seed in the middle of July, it's probably not going to make it very long. This time of year is really good to seed your yard, to overseed your yard, and also in the fall time.
Well, what if we put seed down and let's just say for giggles that it decided to frost all of a sudden out of nowhere? What is it going to hurt the grass seed?
That would be one of those things that I would call Adam about.
I'm just saying, just in case. I don't have to put a tarp all over my yard to cover it up, do I?
No. A lot of that, a lot of things like grass, the ground is a little bit is made for that type of stuff. It's. It kind of dies out, but yet it will come right back too. So okay. I honestly don't see, I'm not going to tarp my yard, and I've threw some seed out and stuff. You just have to, just keep it watered and maintained, and that straw will also keep the heat around those seeds to help that grow.
So we mainly need to cover it up. Now, what do you suggest, like the old moving blanket type of thing, or do you put tarps over it that's more waterproof?
To hold the straw down?
No, for like new plants.
Oh, new plants? I've always just used like bed sheets.
Oh, okay.
I remember my great-grandmother, she had a closet full of old sheets and towels, and we would take those out to the garden and around the potted plants and stuff whenever the frost would come or a freeze. Of course, I carry all my pots into our garage. So tonight, whenever I get home and get done working, I'm just going to try to carry all my pots and ferns into the garage to keep them warm and keep them protected.
Okay, well, thank you. I'm telling you, he is a wealth of knowledge, Mr. Josh Cook. If they say, you know what, I need somebody to help me, what phone number do they call?
Well, they can always just call my cell, and that's 270-350-6590. Of course, that's the same number for insurance, for the funeral home. So,
well, you know what, though? I love that. Well, I love that because you've talked about all kinds of other businesses and plugged about 1 million people because that's like a hashtag, loyal support local thing to me. Yeah. I mean, you just mentioned, 10 different people. And I think that's wonderful, and that's how a community survives this. But you do have another couple of things that you do. And, how about Modern Woodman of the World? I mean, that's Josh Cook.
Yeah, Modern Woodman is, and we've had to switch how we do things. And so we actually just wrote out a couple weeks ago to where, hey, if you want to meet and let's talk, you have some time off, and we need to look over your insurance policies and retirement accounts. we can actually meet virtually. And we can meet over the computer or over FaceTime. We got the approval for that. And so I don't even have to come sit in your house now. With all the pandemic and everything going on, we can keep a safe distance.
Okay. Well, how about Goodman's?
Well, Goodman's, of course, we're still there. The governor did mandate that we are to be by appointment only or what's called an at-need, so whenever a death occurs. So I'm not in the office every day, but you can always call me 24/7. We can set up an appointment, but we are just strictly following the governor's orders and trying our best to just make it, just like everyone else is.
Well, you let Mr. Jonathan and them know that we said hi and we love them and we support them. And
I sure will.
That pretty wife of his has been sewing masks for everybody. And I told him yesterday to tell her what a wonderful job she had done. And
Yes.
I'll tell you, it's just you have one of those families that are really and truly servants of the community. And we sure appreciate that very much.
Well, thank you. We try our best. We love our community. And, in times like this, it's important that we just give back.
Well, hashtag support local, Josh Cook.
That's right.
We love you, kiddo. Tell us your number again and how to get a hold of you for your 12 million different things that you do.
It's 270-350-6590.
Well, thank you so much. Have a great week and try to go cover up your plants.
Yes. Make sure you cover those up and make sure they stay warm throughout the freeze tonight.
Well, thanks so much. Of course, Josh Cook, a good friend of ours and of the community, and we sure do appreciate everything he's done and continues to do. Again, if you've got something on community calendar that you need on, or maybe you've got something that you'd like to do for hashtag support local, make sure that you let us know all about it. And make sure that throughout the day, if you go get groceries over at Food Giant, that's hashtag support local, by the way. If you got to go pick up your prescription, guess what that is? That's right, hashtag support local. Let us know how you're doing it and how your family continues to do it. Stick around. Coming up, Audrey Lamb is going to have all of your updates throughout the day. And, of course, this afternoon we'll check in with our governor for our daily update and, of course, much more, as well as at 10 o'clock, coming up at 10 o'clock, don't forget about this. Now, 10 o'clock in the morning and 10 o'clock in the at night, we are doing a prayer for our community right here on the air. So at 10 o'clock in the morning, you're also going to hear the church bells because that's, we love that. I think that's appropriate. At 10 o'clock in the morning, I look forward to that. Yesterday, I absolutely loved it, and I guarantee it's going to be a daily thing that I'm going to look forward to. Hopefully you will as well. 10 o'clock tonight. Before we all go to bed, we're going to settle in with a community prayer as well. We're all going to do this thing together. Now, if you would like to record a prayer for our community on your phone, all you got to do is record it on your phone and then email it to us or message us. Either way, prayerswpky@gmail.com. You might just hear it on the radio. We love you to death, and we'd love for you to tune in for that. It's Support Local and our daily prayer. Again, prayerswpky@gmail.com. During this trying time of the COVID-19 crisis, the Body Shop at Trice Hughes is open for business to help you with